Hello and welcome to Securing Your Network Hub, your destination for the latest news on Fortinet here on the Secure Network Hub site. I'm Sydney Neely, and joining me today is Ed Moltzen, editor of Secure Network Hub. Now, small and mid-sized businesses are protecting more users, more devices, and more data than ever before. And for solution providers, that shift is creating both pressure and opportunity. Ed, it's so great to have you here.
It's good to be here, Sydney. Thank you.
All right, let's start here. With remote work, cloud adoption, and connected devices everywhere, how much has the attack surface really expanded for SMB customers?
Oh, gosh, it's expanded dramatically and in ways that aren't always so obvious. Now, a few years ago, most SMBs were protecting an office network, maybe a small data center, but today, users are remote, applications are in multiple clouds, employees are on personal devices and Internet of Things devices, everything, and plug into a network without really much thought. Now, every single one of those things, from a watch to a laptop to a server, every single one of those connections is a potential entry point for a malicious attack. The challenge is that SMBs now look like a lot more like enterprises in terms of complexity and in terms of risk, but they don't have enterprise budgets or enterprise security teams. So the attack surface has grown outward in every direction, almost limitless at this point, while resources have not grown at anywhere near the same pace. And the imbalance is where the risk really lives.
When you put it that way, it really shows how quickly things have expanded and how much of it isn't always visible. Now, as that risk grows, IT teams are not necessarily growing with it. How is Fortinet helping partners bring enterprise-level protection to SMBs without making things more complicated?
That's the key, because adding just more point products doesn't necessarily solve the problem. In fact, it often makes it worse. Fortinet's approach is about integration. It's about stitching together separate, instead of stitching together separate tools for firewall, endpoint, wireless, switching, cloud security, everything under the sun. Everything's going to operate within the same security fabric. Fortinet has developed the Fortinet Security Fabric. Now, for partners, that means they can deliver layered enterprise-grade protection, but manage it from a unified platform. So that reduces complexity. It doesn't increase it. Okay, there's centralized visibility. There's shared intelligence between components. Imagine that. Components are actually talking to each other and speaking the same language so that outside threats aren't finding more and more points of vulnerability. There's a consistency in policy enforcement. So what that allows SMB customers to get serious about is making sure that everything is protected, that there's no more patchwork of systems, and that there are really no points of vulnerability from plugging in all these systems and software pieces over the years. It just smooths everything out and makes everything work together.
Now, Fortinet talks about bringing networking and security together in one integrated platform. Why does that matter for partners who are trying to keep things simple for their SMB customers?
Well, in the real world, network and security aren't separate conversations anymore, right? You can't have a network without security, and you make investments in security to protect what? To protect your network. If you're wireless, your switching, your firewall, your SD-WAN are all disconnected from a security standpoint, you create blind spots, and blind spots are exactly what attackers will exploit. When everything's integrated, when everything is pieced together, when everything fits together and security isn't just bolted on, okay, it's built in, okay, that makes security end to end. For partners, that simplifies deployment. It simplifies troubleshooting, simplifies scaling. You're not coordinating between 5, 6, 7 vendors when something goes wrong. You have one cohesive security architecture. That's powerful for SMBs who want protection, but they don't want, the operational chaos and complexity that sometimes goes along with that.
And honestly, that peace of mind is huge. SMB customers want to grow without worrying that their security is getting harder to manage. So when partners lean into that unified Fortinet approach, how does it help them move beyond individual projects and build stronger, longer term relationships?
That's a great question. Well, it shifts the conversation from transactional to strategic. That's what solution providers really are great at, right? Strategy, helping an overall business, not just making the one transaction. Instead of selling a firewall as a one-off project, for example, partner solution providers are delivering an architecture, a security platform. They're becoming trusted advisors around performance, around risk management, around business continuity. And because everything's connected within that platform, it naturally opens the door to outgoing services, right? Monitoring, lifecycle management, upgrades, expansion into the cloud, secure remote access. It's not just install and walk away. It's continuous engagement. It's building relationship. It's building trust and becoming the trusted technology advisor, the trusted business advisor, really. And that's how partners build predictable revenue and deeper trust. That's how they grow. And in today's environment, that trust is incredibly valuable.
Like you said, that's when partners really become trusted advisors, helping customers think long term instead of just solving one issue at a time. Now, unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for today. Ed, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
To stay up to date on Fortinet and the broader security landscape, visit securenetworkhub.com. Thank you for being with us. I'm Sydney Neely, and we'll see you next time.